Welcome to the Casual Experience.
Hello casuals, you're welcome to the Casual Experience Show, a show for the casuals where we give you exciting MMA news. And on this episode, we'll be talking about the UFC Harriwa happening this weekend, featuring Cory, the Sandman, Sandhagen, and Deiveson, Deus da Guerra, Figueiredo, the God of War. And we're here with my friend, Dr. Oyedika. Afana.
It's a pleasure, man.
We're here again.
Here again, man. Good afternoon.
She not the card you say you want to talk about with this. You've been
The
looking
main
forward to
event. Well, let's start.
but the main card seems to be such an exciting card.
Very interesting.
In fact,
matchup, man.
the UFC, because of the card itself, the UFC went out of their way to bring two UFC veterans for a one-off fight.
Is it the Jeremy? No,
Yeah.
Stevens and Mason Jones.
Yes, the beginning of the main card.
Oh, Mason Jones is like an OG like that.
Yeah, Mason Jones was in UFC too. They caught him when he was in 2022. Yeah, and also Jeremy Stevens. Also, we know you've always known him as an OG.
Yeah.
Him having that his knockout power and that exacting fight.
Wasn't he the one that McGregor also famously said, "Who the fuck is that guy?"
Yes. About? After he said, "Who asked that question?" Now, okay, a journalist asked him that. Was asking McGregor, who among the fighters behind you?
And he was, I think, if I remember correctly, he was at the back saying, right here, and this is the toughest fight for you, the hardest hitting 135
yes,
pounder.
145.
He was just talking, and Conor was like,
who
the fuck is that guy?
In fact, everybody.
Who the fuck is that?
That was a moment, right? I think it was a fight. That was the fight he was supposed to fight Cerrone.
No. I think that was the fight he fought. This is
Aldo
Bout guy. Before is either Aldo or Eddie Alvarez. One of those two. I can't really remember. Or Diaz.
Yeah.
I think it's
it wasn't Diaz.
It wasn't Diaz.
It was the time that the UFC used to have those major press conferences where all the fighters on the cards will be at the conference, and journalists ask them random questions.
That's media day.
Yes.
Yeah, UFC media day.
But before we go to our cards, we have some news.
Yeah.
Did you hear that Francis Ngannou had an accident?
Yeah.
A bike accident.
I saw it in the early hours of. I think I saw it yesterday night.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was on his bike in Luando, Cameroon, and then he hit a girl, and the girl passed away.
Man, so rest in peace, though.
I mean, Francis Ngannou.
And I know, the topic is going to be on Francis.
Yes.
I've been seeing it everywhere.
That guy always have some severe ups and downs. Before he fought Fury, his child died.
Yeah.
His son died. And
I don't know if it's the algorithm, but I've been seeing a lot of Francis Ngannou
because it happened yesterday now.
And then there's this video where he and Mike Tyson were talking.
Yes.
I don't know if you've
seen. Mike Tyson told him that if you're favored by God.
Yeah, he told him that you've been favored by God because of these strengths that you have. It's a good thing.
Yes.
But also be wary because you've been favored by the devil.
Yes,
too.
if you're favored by God, you're favored by the devil.
Yeah,
too.
and you get to go home with who brought you to the dance.
Yes.
You understand?
You get to go home. Very deep talk.
It's a very, very scary realization. But it's the truth, though.
Yeah.
It's the truth.
And then we got in news that Cameroon Usman Nightmare, Nigerian Nightmare, is facing Joaquin Buckley, the guy that seems to be the rave of the moment. The rave of the moment.
Yeah.
He seems to be riding a high wave now.
Yeah, and I'm happy for the kid, though. I'm happy for him because he looked like that hype that would just come and derail very fast. But the boy has really picked up.
Yeah.
His trajectory is very good.
And he's putting himself in the news. Even last weekend, he confronted. He was trying to confront Yangari, and Yangari's wife stopped him. I was like, hold on. Yangari's wife now told him, "I'll see you later in the evening." Joaquin Buckley was like, What the fuck is this lady saying? I don't want to see you. I want to see your husband." And Cory Sandhagen, his latest thing now is trash talking using AI. He's not. He's not good. He's not good with trash talk. He doesn't know how to trash talk. He's just a chill guy.
Please let me state this now. Cory, if you ever get to see this, I am a very, very, very big fan of yours.
Yeah.
And why I'm saying this is Cory Sandhagen, before the onset of the fighting nerds and whatever, Cory Sandhagen is the first legit fighting nerd.
Yeah.
I want to put it out there. He's the first legit
Yeah.
fighting nerd. You know he has a degree in psychology.
No, I didn't know that.
Yeah, he has a degree in psychology. He's a writer and all of that. I mean, he iterates very well. He writes. He's a very calm guy.
Yeah.
But I think, was it the build-up to one of his fights after his bout against Aljamain Sterling? I remember Sterling choked him out. That was one of his few losses.
Very early in the fight. It was so surprising, that fight.
Yeah, so he said that like before then, he was always, like, I have to be the good guy and all. But after that, he just flipped his switch. He was like, fuck that, man.
And that's when he started growing that grey beard.
That grey beard, yeah.
To me, I like Cory because, in fact, he has a cool nickname. I always like their nicknames. The Sandman. Yeah. And then when you see him,
guy is so cool,
if you are a fan of watching film, martial arts films, it reminds me of a Bruce Lee. Imagine Cory Sandhagen in that yellow jacket that Bruce Lee wears. It looks like him. He has that languid body type.
Yeah.
Even his fighting style, very unorthodox, and
the guy's fighting style is something else. I mean, but for the Bruce Lee gimmick, but I really think that guy is too nerdy to fit into it. I don't know.
He just
the way personality.
Yeah,
I feel he's too nerdy to fit into it.
Yeah.
But however, for his fight IQ, see, this is why I like Cory Sandhagen. He's very smart. I mean, he's almost like a textbook fighter.
Yes.
One of the fighters I used to remember this guy. I mean, from our own local setting here is Yahuza. That you invited. Yahuza is such a textbook fighter. He doesn't do anything outside of what you expect him to do.
Yes, he knows how to do.
Exactly. And you see Sandhagen. Sandhagen is just like that. And that's what even makes it very much more amazing, because for his build, for his face, for his demeanor, he doesn't look like how he fights.
Yes.
He doesn't look like how he fights.
He even looks, when he's not even in the flow of fighting, it looks like he's already in the flow when he begins fighting.
I think that's
from the first ring of the bell.
Yeah.
You see him throwing out knees, throwing
everything.
Did you see the knockout? You saw the knockout against what's this OG that ran into his knee?
Wait.
Frank Edgar. No, Frank Edgar.
Okay,
it was Frank Edgar. He created his space, and he knew. He was saying that whenever Frankie threw punch, he was in that space, and he waited for him to throw the punch again and just gave him a flying.
Was it a knee or a kick?
It was a knee, flying knee.
It was Marlon Vera that kicked Edgar. I know Edgar suffered two.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. He suffered two losses.
But for Cory using Chat GPT to trash talk Figueiredo. You know, Figueiredo has a very, very mad kind of trash talk. He trash talks you as if he wants to kill you. That's Figgy. But listen to one of his trash talks.
Okay.
He said Figgy walks like he's still the champ, but fights like he's auditioning for retirement. That was one of the trash talk GPT gave him. He also said his ego is his ego.
That's a very Cory type of thing.
Yes.
I don't even think it's AI.
He was reading it off his phone. He said Figgy's ego. His ego is still in the title picture, but his skill is still stuck in the prelims.
That was a good one. That was a good one.
and he said
your ego still be stuck in the prelims.
Yes. He said
when last did Figgy fight in the prelims? No, come on, stop that.
He said he'll be using more of Chat GPT to trash talk his opponents.
Yeah,
going forward.
It's cool. Like I said, it says a lot about how the guy thinks, which is why I like the guy. He's a very smart and sharp guy.
Yes.
And sorry, also on the side, on his Instagram, he usually breaks down fights too.
Yes, he does.
I really think it's something you should.
I've seen his breakdown. He just like Money Mocano too. Give me the money podcast.
Yeah.
Most of the fighters have their podcast. I'm not. Well, this is not me hating, but I'm not a fan of an active fighter
having a podcast.
I just feel it's so much work and distraction. Yeah. Whenever I see fighters having an active podcast, it just makes me feel as if they're already ushering their way, like they're already having something by the side. Like you see Kamaru Usman,
which can serve as a distraction.
Yeah,
is that where you're coming from?
Yes.
Okay.
And then you see Kamaru Usman and Triple C. Yeah, you could always.
What's the name of that podcast again?
Pound for pound. Pound for pound. Yeah, you see, Papas is already in the know. So let's go to the main card of the.
Well, I've never touched the main event. We just touched Cory.
No, we just briefly.
Like that.
The main card itself starts with a banger of a fight. The UFC had to bring in one of the locals. You know, Stephen Jeremy is Mr. Iowa himself.
Okay, he's from Iowa.
Yeah, he's from Iowa. So
that's really cool.
It's a one-off fight.
To start off the card.
Yeah, it's a one-off fight they give him, and also Mason Jones.
Okay, a one-off fight.
Oh yes, just to cut, pull the
it's
crowd.
Not like a contract of like 2-3 fights.
No,
or something.
he's been cut off. He's been off the UFC since 2021.
Yeah, and I think he's coming off back-to-back wins in BKFC.
His last win was against Eddie Alvarez. Now, crazy
this
fight.
January now.
Yes,
I think I streamed that.
So I think he's still active.
Russia link.
But and he's fighting Mason Jones, also a UFC OG. That was caught. He was caught from the UFC 2022 too. So I think it's going to be a banger of a fight. Stephen Jeremy's nickname is Lil Heathen. And Mason Jones, the Dragon. So what do you reckon? How do you reckon the fight? Lil, I don't know if I'm pronouncing it well. Heathen.
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 Little Heathen versus.
That's Little Heathen versus the Dragon. Yeah.
What a funny matchup.
Yeah. Do you know one fight that surprises me the most that Mason Jones won in the UFC?
Okay. Hit me with it.
David Onama.
Oh, that just won recently.
That just won Giga.
Yeah, Giga.
He won him. Which shows, he kind of told me that like he's a kind of decent fighter.
I don't know if I remember. See, David Onama is a black fighter. Guy, yeah. That
he's a whole round
flag
fighter.
Has a yellow paint on it.
I don't know about his flag.
I can't really remember where he's from. But I remember there was one of his fights where he gassed out in. Because
I think that might be the fight.
That might, I don't know. Let me not try to write him off.
There.
This guy was the underdog. What's his name?
Jones.
Mason Jones.
Yes.
It's probably that fight.
Yeah.
Let me look up his record. It's probably that fight because there was a fight that were so like everybody was. There's even this page, African Fights Combat. I can't really remember, but they were hyping. They usually hype African fighters in the UFC and other places, or mainly in the UFC. And I was really looking forward to that fight. And then Onama lost. He was very exhausted. You could see him moving slowly, throwing heavily. Everything was so slow about him.
But now it seems to have been better, way better. His last week fight against Giga was a top-notch fight.
Unanimous decision. I think that's the fight.
How do you reckon this fight goes though?
Which one?
Jeremy and Mason.
Well, Jeremy being Mr. Iowa and he has given everything in his BKFC last two bouts. I really see him edging out the win.
He's 38 years.
Yeah, how old is Mason Jones?
Mason is 30, and he seems to be like, I don't know, a grappler. Like, I know Jeremy have heavy hands, obviously, and he's been more active. Well,
that's why I'm looking at a TKO or unanimous decision for
Jeremy.
And
I feel him fighting in his hometown might be so hyped. You know, when he's so hyped like that. Yeah. But a fight that keeps coming to me is his fight against Conor McGregor, where Conor McGregor just keep eating him onto the body and tiptoeing him at his stomach until he gassed out. That was the interim featherweight fight.
Cut him some slack, man. That was such a long time ago.
Yeah, but what I see,
that Conor was such a generational talent.
Yeah,
if that same Conor with that same mentality came in this time, he would probably still do the same thing because he just came with the mentality to win. You understand? So he'll find a way to just win.
Yeah.
Maybe getting under your skin way before the fight. Most of the people he fought, he had already won them before the fight even started.
Yeah.
That Aldo fight, look how he was it. Even Jeremy Stevens. So
you're saying Jeremy Stevens is going to win?
Yeah, I feel he's good. Maybe I can think about Jones because of the age and all, but just for the fact that he mentioned Mr. Iowa there, you understand? I'm
going to be going with Mason Jones though.
Let me just stand on the side of Jeremy Stevens just for the whole Iowa thing. I really think.
And that fight in the bantamweight. And did you notice of recent the bantamweight division? The bantamweight division has been like been
Lighting
very
up of late.
active,
Yeah.
very active. Like most fights they've been putting up has been in the bantamweight division, eh?
I mean, I'm walk around bantamweight, so yeah, up for the bantamweights.
But if you dey UFC, you no go fit fight for bantamweight. You think? I think you'll be fighting in the flyweight. In flyweight self, you will look small in flyweight.
when I look the guys who did that bantamweight, but I say make them open straw weight and go cut weight.
Exactly.
I go cut weight.
Because you have to figure what the kind
No,
of
but
amount they weight.
if you actually get to see those people in real life,
yeah.
I don't know. It's actually quite. You know, Youssef.
Youssef, yes.
Yeah, Youssef.
Yes, the Moroccan guy.
Yeah, Youssef is like 5'8" now, so
He fights in bantamweight.
yeah. And the first day I saw Youssef like up close, I was like, this guy is
Looks
actually
big.
not big. He's not that big.
Yeah.
Like he's not actually as big as I was thinking from like seeing him on the screen and all.
Yeah, Jeb fights in bantamweight too now.
Yeah, but is it bantam?
Yeah.
Featherweight.
No, not flyweight. It's bantamweight.
It's featherweight. The only flyweight fighters.
Not featherweight.
Yeah.
He fights in bantamweight.
Bantam and feather.
he fights in two
I know he has
divisions.
featured in the two.
Okay.
But not lightweight yet.
But if you look at those fighters, like for Figgy to be fighting in bantamweight, those guys are big.
Yeah.
Those guys are big.
Have you seen Figgy's current walk around weight?
Yes, now he fight.
He's been everybody has been posting it
around 180, if no more.
I saw a page that captioned that snapped Figgy and said, "I hope this guy knows he has a fight on Saturday."
He cuts absurd weight. Those Brazilians are good at cutting weight.
Yeah,
Enormous
and you know he
weight.
has had issues with cutting weight too.
That's why he had to move up now.
Yeah.
And now the next fight, I don't know if you know these fighters, Cameroon Smotherman and Selisaidi.
I had to do a little bit of look up for them.
Yes,
I haven't seen any fights for.
Yeah, me too. I had to
them in the
look
past.
a couple of their fights. Babyface Killer is Cameroon. Saidi seems to have decent takedown defense, and he seems to be a grappler.
Yeah.
And what struck me in this about this fight is Cameroon is on a 4-fight win streak.
Yeah.
On a 4-fight win streak, right? And Saidi is on a lose one, win one winning streak. So,
I'm really tilting. Well, from what I was even seeing, like on Topology,
yeah.
I just think I don't know. It's one of those fights where this Cameroon guy gets the win. It might not look pretty because I've not seen the guy fight before, personally. That's this Cameroon.
Yeah.
But I have seen his record for sure, and that of Saidi. I really think he's just going to edge him out. This is just a bias.
Yeah.
It's just a random
I understand
bias.
what you mean.
But I love to watch the fight because I love always seeing names that I have not seen before.
Yes, just to catch up with the names.
Yeah.
So when you see their trajectory, you know,
I've
like
seen
this
this
is where
person
this
before.
is where I start
Exactly.
noticing. These I just started noticing him. Yeah,
And I
get
really
what
so
you
many
mean.
fight. There's so many fighters I was watching in the Ultimate Fighter and the White Contender series. Sean O'Malley.
Yeah,
The first time I watched Sean O'Malley was I think the second or third Dana White Contender series episode I watched ever.
Yes.
And that was what I even remember from that fight was Snoop Dogg shouting, O'Malley, something,
oh, yes.
O'Malley for the
Yeah,
money, something.
yeah.
O'Malley, O'Malley. That's what I just remember that.
Yeah, and he climbed the stage after he climbed
Yeah.
the octagon when he finished, and he faced the camera. I was like, "Welcome to the sugar
Welcome
show.
to the
Sugar Show."
And today now he's a UFC champion fighting again for the title very soon.
Yes. But
So,
for us, one of the fights, when we were comparing notes before we started,
Yeah.
the fight that both of us marked, I marked it as fight of the night though, is Montel Jackson and Daniel Marcos.
It is an under the radar fight, man. It's for me, in terms of the names, it's an under the radar fight.
I don't think many people know how these fighters and know how good they are. Like this Montel Jackson, he's been in the UFC since 2018. We are in 2025, right?
Yeah.
And he's only lost once. And if you see the caliber of fighters he's fought Reinier de Ridder. And you look like this guy is a badass striker. But when you now compare him to the Daniel Marcos that he's fighting, Sankara, that one has never tasted defeat before. He doesn't know what it is to be defeated. And then look at the caliber of fighter he's fought. He's fought Adrian Yanez.
Yanez, that's a solid.
That very good boxer.
Yeah.
He's won him. But he's just been in the UFC for 2 years though.
Yanez.
No,
Okay.
Marcos. He came in through the White Contender series. So how do you reckon the fight goes?
I really think Montel. I'm leaning on the side of Montel. I won't lie, because
Really?
one thing that struck me for Marcos was he was working in I think a telephone company or so, and then his boss just said, "Yo, you should quit this thing you're doing and come and pursue fight." if you
His
see
boss, his own boss said
his
that.
own, yeah, I don't know if it's his boss, but from what I was reading though, like when I was checking up on the guy,
Yeah.
that one of his maybe mentors or somebody
Yeah.
convinced him, say you should come and try mixed martial arts, and here he is, and I think with 9-0 record or so. The guy's really doing good, and I would like that's how I'm trying to pull a lot. That's how we should try to start pulling a lot of guys into this sport.
Yeah.
There's so many guys with potential out there and anger and strength. We should look to bring into the fight. So yeah, going forward, Sha, for the fight, I'm leaning on the side of Montel Jackson.
I think it's going to be a great fight. I reckon it will be the fight of the night, though.
Yeah.
It's if the main event doesn't beat it. Yeah.
The main event.
Yeah.
No. This fight is probably going to be the fight of no. Nothing is going to beat Cory Sandhagen. Maybe he might get a performance of the night if one of them decides to stand out taller than the other person.
Yeah.
And his bantamweight.
Yeah, it's bantamweight.
They hit very fast
Yes.
and very well, not so hard, but they hit quite hard.
And
It's
they've
very
been knocking. I don't
entertaining.
know what's up with the bantamweight. They seem to have knocking each other out of late.
Yeah, it's a small weight class. And
Yeah, you will
everybody's
feel that they
trying
don't
to-
carry that much power to be able to knock each other out,
weight bullies, man. Weight bullies.
and they carry a lot of power.
Yeah.
Yeah, see Maker and Simon last week now.
Yeah. I mean, one thing I've noticed about bantamweight here is the knockouts were not really there before. But one thing I've noticed is the people that time their hits very well,
Yeah,
they will most likely knock you out. Someone like Alexander Pantoja, the way he hits you, he really embodies that name that he carries. No, that's in the flyweight though.
Yeah.
But he embodies that thing he carries. Is it cannibal also? He doesn't come to play around or do all this Lego. He's coming for your chin, coming for your temple, coming for your liver, coming for your outer leg to find your peroneal nerve. The guy is always coming for something to just kill you.
yeah.
So yeah.
So who are you going with?
I'm leaning on the side of Montel Jackson. I really want to see how Daniel Marcos will perform, but just because of that UFC experience, I'm leaning on the side of Montel Jackson.
I think I'll be going for Daniel Marcos, someone that hasn't tasted defeat. We are going both.
On the
opposite
other
side.
Yeah.
And that fight that is going to be a banger, I feel, but might not be two fighters fighting at their peak.
Yeah.
Santiago
Ponzinibbio. Yeah.
The Argentine Dagger versus
One of the first people I started watching in the UFC.
Daniel Rodriguez,
D-Rod.
and as you said, Santiago, I started watching him too early when he seemed to be in his prime.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and he just had that health issues. You remember when he had the health issues?
Yes,
and
I
he
think
was gone
around
for like
COVID.
yes, and I think it was a respiratory kind of health challenge, right?
Fighters that went through that whole COVID thing, see comes out.
Yes, it was COVID related too, and
It was not an
he
easy
went
thing.
off for like 3 years, and he came back, and you saw that he wasn't the same. He didn't feel he had that fighter dog in him, but he doesn't
Wasn't
feel
just
the
the same person
And
he
now
used
when
to
you
be.
look at them, anyway, both of them are of the same age. They're both 38 years old, but D-Rod has that kind of street fighter kind of mentality.
D-Rod is a bad man.
Yes,
D-Rod is
he's
a
always
bad
there to
man.
fight. You see him.
He's
the
always
way-
game bred.
Yeah, he's always game bred. But both of them have fought decent fighters though. Santiago is on one win streak,
Okay.
and D-Rod is on 1 loss streak. What do you reckon?
But D-Rod won Morono recently. No?
Yeah, he won Morono. Yes, he won Morono. He lost to Gastelum, and he lost to Gary and Neil Magli.
But those aren't bad people he has lost to.
Yeah. So how do you see the fight playing out? Do you think it's going to be a striking first?
D-Rod usually goes the distance unless he's finished. And I don't see Santiago finishing him.
Santiago is very durable. Oh.
That's what I'm saying.
Very durable.
I don't see him finishing. I see this fight going the distance.
Yeah.
If the fight is going to be finished, I see D-Rod doing the finishing.
Who is the better striker, you reckon?
Santiago's striking is actually clean. As from what I've seen, it's actually quite nice. But he's not really the best of strikers like that. But then you see D-Rod.
Yeah.
D-Rod for me, I don't know. He's kind of more.
D-Rod has a longer reach.
Yes, and he hits quite maliciously, man.
Yes.
He hits quite maliciously. He hits like his tattoos. He hits like his
Yes.
tattoos.
And Santiago always fight as if he doesn't even want the fight to get to decision.
It looks like that, but you just find out that maybe I don't know if it's something about his punches not being so hard.
Yeah.
Or something. I don't know. I just don't know.
I just feel that for me,
Yeah.
it's just the fighter in him that is taking him through the fights he's going through now.
The dog
I
in
feel
him.
he's gone past his prime, but he's just a fighter.
He's like 34, yeah.
He's 38 years,
Yeah.
and D-Rod also is 38.
That's a rubber match.
Yeah, in the welterweight. I don't know what they're going to be. And they've fought most of the contenders in welterweight. So,
Yeah.
as you said, it might be a rubber match, but we will enjoy it now.
OGs.
Yeah.
No, OGs always give
Who
us
are you
joy.
going to be picking this fight?
I think I would lean on the side of Santiago Ponzinibbio.
You see, we are going opposite ways again. I'll be going with Daniel Rodriguez D-Rod. I just feel like there's going to be a finish. I reckon there's going to be a finish.
Why shouldn't we should have a watch party for this one, man? This is a very good card. But I'll watch this fight.
So we're going opposite. We're going opposite sides again. And for our co-main event of the evening,
The co-main event of the evening.
Reinier de Ridder.
RDR.
Yeah, the Dutchman versus
This guy that came in one kind of very, very aggressive hype. He
Mir-
choked out this guy now. Holland.
Meshat.
And Misha too.
Yes, he finished Meshat and he finished Kevin Holland.
Yeah,
he's
Misha
a,
too.
he's a finisher. If you look most of his fights, he doesn't get to decision. But what intrigues me about him most is his height, guy.
6'5", but
That guy is 6'5". He's so tall. Yeah, the guy is taller than you now. And he has
how tall are you, Papas?
600.
six. The guy is 6'5".
Someone
And
confiscate
he
this
has
man.
good knees. He has good knees, and this is his third fight in the UFC. He's won.
Did you say he has good knees?
Yes, like
That's a very good. That's a very, very favorable risk factor.
yeah, because
He's a
obviously
very good wrestler and
Jiu-jitsu
I knew him
fighter.
from one
one
championship.
UFC, yes. When he fought, he lost twice to Anatoly.
Man,
That BJJ wizard.
you know, one of those fights that you just know that no, this guy is he's just better than me. I think it's just one of those fights
The
because
Anatoly Abi.
Yeah.
It's after he lost to him the second time. That was when he came to the
yes,
UFC.
I think that was even like a retirement rubber fight for him.
For
also.
Anatoly.
No, for
For
RDR.
Derrida.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
This is winning Bo Nickal though.
Bo Nickal, obviously, he has the most accolade outside MMA. Obviously,
Yes.
he's a Division 1 wrestler and all, but you would want to take him down. Don't you think the guy might be setting up a knee for him? And his last performance was lackluster.
It was lackluster, but
if against Paul Craig, you remember?
yes, that fight was one of those fights where two people of the same disciplines meet and then just decide to respect themselves enough in that division.
Paul Craig isn't a wrestler. I just felt he feared.
Paul Craig is a very, very
He's a grappler. He feared his BJJ because Paul Craig can submit you out of nowhere.
out of nowhere, yes, but then the pressure that a wrestler gives is something that as a BJJ person,
Yeah.
you don't want to go up against, especially when all the stakes are there.
Yeah, but this fight might be a dicey one, don't you think?
Yeah, it will be a dicey one. I feel they are going to stand. But it's one of it's one of two things. It's one of two things. Bo Nickal tried to stand with Craig the last time.
He's on a nice win streak.
I acknowledge that, but okay.
He hasn't gotten to the stage where you say he has started evolving his striking, has it?
That's why I said the fight before now didn't go so well.
Yeah.
So it's left for him now to show us. You understand? In this very fight against RDR, does he want to show us that his striking has gotten better?
Yeah.
You understand? Which is something that is going to be much more interesting. We've talked about that in the evolution of this kid, this Mexican boy. I don't want to make fun of him, but this boy,
Chiwiwis.
yeah, he has been trying to show some, that I don't.
Chiwiwis has evolved a lot.
Exactly. So maybe Bo Nickal might want to show us that. You understand? Against RDR, or we might see a very, very high level ground game between these two guys.
Age-wise, he's on Bo Nickal's side.
Yes.
Experience,
RDR.
striking,
However, experience too for Bo Nickal at his level. Bo Nickal is very experienced
just in wrestling.
for his age and what he like his niche. That's the wrestling part. He's
What
quite
do you
experienced.
think the reader would show him something new that is not seen or experienced before?
That's why it is called experience. Definitely, there's always something you can pull.
But Bo Nickal on his own side too might want to just prove a point because that his last performance
That's where his age will come
made him
in now.
lose a lot of
Very
hype.
true. Very true. And that's where his age one will come into place. 2, his high pressure wrestling. And 3, him being a star already in the UFC.
Yeah.
Him being an already established star. And like you said, his last performance was lackluster. So he wants to push this one.
One way or the other, I'm
Take
seeing
it
it
up a
like
notch.
I'm seeing this fight to be like a split decision.
if it goes the distance, but
Yeah.
both of them have very strong submission threats. It might not go the distance.
You think?
It might not. That's why I said if it's one of two things. Is either we see a very rubbish lackluster performance of them trying to stand, was one. Two, they might still stand, but then somebody will now get too desperate and be like, I don't shine no. I have to win this fight.
Yes.
Or three, we get to see a very high level ground game.
But whose side are you leaning on now?
Of these three.
This particular fight.
Whose side?
Yes.
Which of the fighters?
Yes.
Bo Nickal. Bo Nickal, yeah. Because if Bo Nickal loses, it's not going to be good for him or the UFC.
And he's also undefeated too.
Yeah.
I always want to go with undefeated fighters because there's just a thing about you not tasting defeat.
Yeah.
And I don't know. Generally not in the UFC, just overall, you not having lost. And I'm going to be going with Bo Nickal too. At least for these are the first fights we've been on the same page. And finally, for the main event of the evening.
For the nerds, I need to get my nerd glasses, man.
I tried purchasing that thing offline, online.
Get normal glasses, put the tape for me, I go find tape for you. Now,
That thing, not tape, not be tape. It's a metal kind of thing.
Put tape.
I was checking it online and it was out of stock.
Yeah, people are rushing it then.
Yes. In fact, there was a site where if you purchase their merchandise, they will give you a fighting nerd glass.
That's cool.
Free.
Yeah.
In their site too. I wanted to purchase the merchandise and it was out of stock too.
Yeah.
So
you can get the shirt too. They have some very cool shirts.
Merch. Yeah, their shirts are colorful. The fighting nerds. But I don't know why.
It's a shirt I want to get.
They should be using the
getting the
glasses.
shirt
The glasses is going to sell a lot more. Except they have a kind of contractual issue with the UFC that has not made them.
I am going to personally push it for them every day at work. I would clock in at work and be like, yo, nerds.
Fighting nerds.
Yeah.
And this for our main event, which is going to be a 5-rounder.
This is bad.
Cory.
Thank you.
Cory Sandhagen versus
Cory the Sandman. Hey, you guys.
Deiveson Deus da Guerra Figueiredo.
Let's call these guys properly. How does that? Ladies and gentlemen, this is the main event of the evening. Sanctioned by wherever. I'm not gonna with anybody. Introducing first. Fighting out of the blue corner.
Yeah.
A mixed martial artist. He stands. This guy is probably like
Cory-
5'4". No, David Figueiredo. He's in the blue corner now.
Yeah. His height is 1.65. That's like
165.
yes. That's like
1.65.
that's like 5'8", 5'7".
That's like 5'6".
Yeah. No, 5'7". Yeah.
5'7", okay. Standing
That's
in the
like
blue corner,
5'7".
He stands 5'7" tall. Weighing in at 145 pounds. He stands. Okay, I can't remember how he's strong. I really love that thing that this guy Bruce Buffer says all the time.
Yes.
When he's saying it, I just play with him. But that's on the side. Though.
That one is on it. He's a legend on his own.
He's a legend.
But let's go to the core of the fight though.
Yeah.
In their past 5 fights, they are 3-2. They've had 3 losses. They've had 3 wins. Cory has had 3 wins and 2 losses. Also, Figueiredo too has had 3 wins and 2 losses. Obviously, he's coming from the flyweight where he was the champion and he had memorable fights with Brandon Moreno and he fought Pantoja, right?
No, I don't think.
Figgy didn't fight Pantoja.
I don't know if Figgy fought Pantoja.
Yeah, and he's fought with Marlon Vera. He's fought. In fact, most of the fighters
I know Pantoja has fought this boy, the other guy that Figgy fought with Moreno twice.
Yeah,
but I can't remember if Figgy fought Pantoja. That's such a huge fight.
How do you see this fight playing out, though?
Man, it's going. See, first of all, it's going the 5 rounds. It's going the whole distance. It's going 5 rounds.
5 rounds.
Yeah.
I don't think it's going to go 5 rounds, Sha.
I want it to go 5 rounds.
I want it to go 5 rounds, but I don't think it's going to go 5 rounds. This is my own side of how I feel the fight is going to play out.
Yeah.
I feel Sandman is just going to. He's just going to.
Him.
Yeah, he's just going to dance around him.
Yeah, this fight bar is not a fair fight for Figueiredo right now.
Yeah.
Figueiredo is coming off a 3 fights win streak.
Yeah.
And I think he's on two losses.
Yeah, one. His last loss was against Pichayan in China, that China card.
Yes, thank you. But how many fights so far since moving up to the bantamweight division?
He's fought twice in the bantamweight. He won Vera.
He won Marlon Vera.
Yeah.
That's good. That's in his first fight.
Yes.
And that was a very good fight for him to be in the title picture.
Yes.
Coming up as a champion, as a former champion. And then he now fought Peter Yan.
Bro, do you know what it means?
In the bantamweight division, bro.
Do you know, for Figgy, do you know what it means to move up from flyweight to bantamweight and
beat Marlon Vera?
Not beat.
Okay.
To carry such power and knock Marlon Vera down.
You are very right.
He was the first. In fact, he's the only fighter
To have not
to have
Marlon.
sat him down. Marlon Vera.
Yeah.
When the same Marlon Vera, Sugar Sean gave him that kick that sounded all over the world. It was a kick in the head. Now.
Okay. Yeah,
That
yeah.
was it a knee. It was a knee that Sugar Sean Marlon
Yeah,
Vera.
like in the first, first, second or third round.
Yeah, that we heard the sound that he did.
Yeah.
And he didn't even budge. Marlon Vera didn't budge. So I mean, well, Figgy has that power and he has that knockout chance. But I also feel Sandhagen is just going to be dancing around him.
Yeah.
And I feel even as Figgy moved up to bantamweight, I still feel he's still bigger. He's still a bigger and stronger person than Cory Sandhagen. That, like, if he grabs him, you would know that, like, the strength. If you're giving strength, overall strength, who do you give it to?
I'll give it to Figueiredo.
Yes.
Figueiredo cuts down.
But one thing that is going against Figgy in this fight is his low output. You give the volume to Cory. Cory is always going to have the output.
Yes. And the IQ of Cory Sandhagen is another thing that stands at a massive disadvantage to Figueiredo. Because I've noticed Figueiredo struggles against fighters with high IQ.
Yeah.
I've noticed that. I'm not trying to call some people he has fought stupid, but I'm just saying. Because look at Brandon Moreno. We all know Moreno as the very witty type of fighter.
Yeah.
His combinations, the dark position, the dark pockets he enters into, throws combinations from there, comes out. He speaks volumes of his IQ and how much he's willing to throw down, which also is a testament for volume.
Yeah.
These two things are also factors that Cory Sandhagen has alongside the reach.
Yeah.
So, and I really see this going in every favor of Cory Sandhagen.
I feel so too. For me, this is how I see it.
Yeah.
He's going to be, I feel it's a repeat of what happened last week in the main event. Gary versus Practice. It's just a lower division.
Okay.
Exactly what Gary did against Practice is what Cory is going to do against Figgy. But there's always the power. He can end the fight at any moment.
And that's the thing. It's just 10 pounds
Yes,
difference.
and I remember
It's just 10 pounds.
But
difference.
one thing that Figgy has that we don't regard most is his
Wrestling.
kicks.
Okay,
He has
his
good kicks, and Cory's stance. He has a wide kind of stance that is susceptible to
Cory is going
kicks.
to get kicked.
Yeah.
He's going to get kicked a lot.
But he could also use that kick, almost getting kick to set up things.
Yeah.
He always lure his opponent to do something so he can catch them at something. Yeah. I don't know why. Since I've been studying this fight, the card, and this fight in particular, I don't know why I'm seeing a submission.
The possibilities there.
Yes. I want to make a bold prediction in this fight that Cory is going to submit Deiveson.
It's very possible.
And do you know...
The IQ of
you
Cory
confirmed
Sandhagen rule it out.
You confirmed what I feel when we sat down here and you mentioned Aljamain Sterling, Aljamain Sterling submitting Sandhagen. So I just feel, in fact, I'm going to that will be a different stake for my general stake. I'm going to stake that Cory submits Figueiredo.
Okay. If I were to put my money on something that I believe would be high stake and the possibilities there, I would say Cory TKOs Deiveson Figueiredo.
Yeah, either ways, you are seeing a win for Cory, yeah?
Yeah. It's just an unfair matchup for Figgy right now. It's too unfair for Figgy.
Yes, I have a friend.
It's just too unfair.
In our business world, when we are discussing things, if we come to a resolution of what we feel will happen eventually, we'll say either ways. So either ways, we both reckon a win for Cory. Yeah, and I feel that Figueiredo, he's just getting to the twilight of his career right now. They will just be feeding him people that might want to be building. He might be having upsets once in a while, but people will be picking off him.
I mean, how high again do you want to go after being in 4 back-to-back titles?
Yes.
Where do you want to go to again? Like, how much will the universe and the UFC even look to reward you anymore?
Do you think he can fight in featherweight?
It's going to be too dangerous for him.
Yeah.
You
will be smaller than there.
He'll be way smaller.
Yeah.
He's a perfect fit for bantamweight.
Yeah. Overall, it's going to be a good card.
Yeah.
And we're going to enjoy it. But before we end our show, I said I was going to ask you 2 questions just to test your MMA knowledge skill. It's just two simple questions. I'm sure you. I'm sure you're going to take. You're going to get it.
Now, so my SR2 will talk. Saying I just say two simple
You are going
questions.
to get
bomb me
it. Like
questions.
I'm so confident in you getting it.
Okay.
Who has the longest win streak in welterweight history?
Georgie St. Pierre.
No.
Okay. Is he from his generation though? Is the person from his generation GSP?
No, not GSP's generation.
Okay, fine. Welterweight.
It's close to home.
Kamaru.
Yeah, Kamaru Usman.
Okay, he surpassed it after.
Yeah, he surpassed GSP's.
I remember the fight now.
Yes, and after the questions, I'm going to tell you why I just asked you those two. The second question too.
Fine.
Now, who has the most takedown landed in UFC's history?
Takedown.
Yes.
Landed in the whole UFC history.
Kamaru has 15 longest win streak for by the way,
Cool.
for people watching, he has 15
Kamaru,
win
yes.
streak. Yeah. So who has the most takedown landed in UFC history?
Attempted or landed?
Landed.
That means he has shot for it and gotten there.
Yes, landed.
Let me cheat that through this answer based on accuracy.
And it was just a recent record just broken.
Yeah, it should be Kamaru too.
No. Kamaru hasn't fought in 18 months.
Okay, recently broken. That means the person that has it is the new holder of it.
Yeah.
It's a trick question.
It's not. I'm sure you know it, but let me give you the answer. It's Merab Dvalishvili. Just recently, when he fought Umar Nurmagomedov and he kept taking him down together. Yes, and the reason why I asked both questions similarly is because he also he took over GSP's record. He has 91 takedowns.
That's why my man kept on going to GSP.
He has 91 takedown shots, and
now.
GSP has 90 takedowns.
Fine,
So
thank you for
those are
rearranging it that
two
way.
records for people watching. Those are the casual knowledge, MMA knowledge you should have. And guys, thank you for the engagement. Thank you for watching. Please, when you watch and you like, kindly subscribe. It does us a great honor when you watch, and it shows us that you are ingrained in what we are doing, and it encourages us to do more. Thank you, Wenedika, for coming again.
It's a pleasure.
Yeah, and
Go back to
guys,
study
it's a wrap,
quite
yo.
few things.
Welcome to the Casual Experience.